such
Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to Bridges with me, Rafi Abdul Malik. Join me over the next period of time where I'll be looking how to communicate with the world regarding Islam. On this quest we have a very special guest with 25 years experience. Please welcome to the show Dr. Naji Arfaj. Welcome, Doctor.
Welcome and thank you, Brother Rafi.
Thank you very much for joining us in the studio today. Let me take this time to actually explain the doctor's CV. Dr. Naji was actually born in Saudi in 1962. In 1982 he decided to major in English and translation to fulfill his vision and interest in dialogue and communication. In 1986 he completed his BA with distinction at King Faisal University, Saudi Arabia. Dr. Naji was actually inspired by the great care and education, support and encouragement and dua offered by his parents and family. His father Ibrahim had tremendous impact on the doctor's life. The doctor was selected as a teaching assistant and granted a scholarship to study his MA and PhD in the USA. In 1990 he started pursuing his MA and PhD in applied linguistics at Michigan State University in the USA. In 1997 he finished his graduate studies with distinction from Michigan State University, USA. During his 7-year stay in the USA, he was elected for 5 years as president of the Muslim Student Association at Michigan State University, where he had great experience and engagement in presenting the beauty of Islam and interfaith dialogue and intercultural communication. His dream became true through establishing the Intercultural Communication and Dialogue Foundation in 2009. He participated in many interfaith dialogue seminars and conferences like the International Conference for Dialogue in Spain, sponsored by the King of Saudi Arabia, Abdullah ibn Abdulaziz. I hope I pronounced that correctly, as I don't speak much Arabic, so please forgive me if I didn't pronounce that correctly. He is an author of several books and articles, printed and distributed more than 3 million copies, reaching 160 countries worldwide. Dr. Naji actually presents and participates in many TV and radio shows since 1997. He is a speaker and a trainer. Thank you very much for joining us today, Doctor. I'm so happy and privileged you're joining us in the studio today.
It is my pleasure to have this dialogue with you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Well, we're talking about how to build bridges with the world. Doctor, you started by saying you were inspired by your parents and you had a dream. Share with us your dream.
First, I would like to thank you, Brother Rafi. I would like to thank all the Huda crew members, the cameramen, all the director, all the brothers who make this program possible. Just to start from the beginning, as you have mentioned, I started paying more attention to dialogue and communication with others since early childhood, actually.
Okay.
My parents played a great role, particularly my dad, my father. He was, he had that kind of personality. Loving others.
Excellent.
He was visiting others, sharing, caring, chatting, talking with others. So I acquired a lot from my father. May Allah's peace, may Allah shower His mercy upon him.
Inshallah.
Then I decided to major in English. So in 1982, I went to the College of Education, Department of English, and I started working on English and translation.
Yes.
Thanks for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
I finished my BA in 1986 with distinction after working hard on myself, reading a lot, talking with others, like, you know, Americans, Westerners who came to Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
So I learned a lot during that period. I was elected, as we have seen there, that I was elected as a TA, and this gave me a great chance. Actually, this was a turning point in my life.
A turning point, a learning curve. Excellent.
Sure, this was actually a turning point in the sense of going abroad, traveling to the United States, living there for about 7 years. So I had more exposure, more time spent in communication and dialogue with other students on campus, coming from all over the world. You know, I had friends, there were students who were studying for masters and PhD at Michigan State University, coming from different countries, from France, Spain, Italy, you name it. There are many, you know, coming from many countries.
From all around the world.
Exactly. So I had a good chance. In addition to that, being president or working as president for the Muslim Student Association gave me a great opportunity to work with other organizations. We participated in many events, student events and activities. This gave me again another, you know, power, another or more experience in terms of sharing, learning from others.
Excellent. So you had great knowledge, and you have, you know, over 25 years experience. Tell us a little bit more about your centre. You actually founded a centre. Tell us about this.
Great. The center is the dream that I had for a long time. When I decided to major in English in the 80s, I had a big vision that I want to have a center for training our people, for training students or trainees on dialogue and communication skills.
Yes.
In 2009, Alhamdulillah, the dream came true. I established a center. I started training those who are interested in dialogue, in intercultural communication, or on skill learning or acquiring skills on how to present the beauty of Islam.
Yes.
So within the last 3 years, we trained around 1,000 people.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. I want to break down, Doctor, it's a huge word, intercultural dialogue. Explain the basics of this. What's the basic intercultural? What does this word mean? What does it mean to you?
Great. You know, intercultural communication or dialogue, it means that we have good attitude and good intention to talk with others objectively, sincerely. It's good to share with them your views and you listen to them without bias or prejudice. So dialogue should be on a sound and good ground. Should be based on good, mutual, trust in each other. So if I mistrust in you from the beginning and you mistrust in me from the beginning of the meeting, we will reach nowhere. So at the beginning we have to have good attitude, good intention to make this discussion or dialogue a success.
Inshallah, inshallah. Do you think it's more verbal communication? What kind of communication can we use as dialogue?
As you know, it can be verbal, it can be non-verbal, through just using words, or just like using now what I'm trying to use now, body language.
Yes.
and sometimes through signs.
Yes.
Communication can be by books.
Yes.
You can send books, or you can send your message through a text. It can be audio or video. It can be seen. This is another way of communication.
Well, thank you very much, Doctor, for sharing your thoughts with us. After the break, inshallah, you're going to answer us, and I want to ask you the question, how to build bridges. Thank you very much. Stay tuned. We're going to take a short break. After the break, join us, where we will have the question answered, how to build bridges. Assalamu alaikum.
Such different people from different lands, we're all descendants of the first man. Such different people from different lands, we're all descendants of the first man.
Assalamu alaikum, and a very warm welcome back to Bridges with me, Rafi Abdul Malik. We're joined with Dr. Naji Arfaj. Please welcome the doctor. Welcome, doctor.
Thank you again.
You're more than welcome. Well, we're talking about how to build bridges, how to communicate with the West. Doctor, before the break I asked you how to build bridges. Now I know you've actually travelled the world in your 25 years experience. Share with us how to build bridges. Let's take a look at some pictures of your travelling, how to start this extent work that we need to have, in the world. So here we have a picture, and this is you at the beginning of your journey.
Wonderful. To build bridges with others, we should start first preparing ourselves.
Okay.
And we should start, as I mentioned earlier, with a good attitude,
Okay.
good intention, that I would love to see peace around the world. I love goodness for all people.
Okay.
And this is why I travel, and I have actually traveled to many countries with love. I would like first to stress the point that our hearts should be clean. We should have a good and clean heart. I love for others what I love for myself.
Yes.
Okay. And if we take off believing or having this kind of quality, loving for others what we love for ourselves, this is part of building bridges.
Excellent.
If we people like those who are caring,
Okay.
sharing, humble. If you are irresponsible, if a person is irresponsible or doesn't care, people don't like that. So this is a first step or a first key towards building bridges with others. Another bridge, another key, that is breaking the ice with others. So when you travel or you talk with others, generally speaking, there is a preconception. There are some false notions about you or about your religion.
Okay.
They might, for example, if you go to the West or you go to the United States, if they meet you or a person coming from the Middle East, they will think about what? They might think about terrorism,
Exactly.
violent people, camel riders, you name it. So we have to understand how people think about us.
Okay.
So we got to also, we have to break the ice with them,
Okay.
understanding where they are coming from.
To be on their wavelength, to be at the same understanding as they are. What about the dress code? Because as you're wearing today, you're galabeya, and you meet a person from the West or the United States, and you go in this dress code. They may be defensive. They may how to build that, how to break that barrier, how to speak to them, how to present yourself.
This is another point, another issue. Some of the people in the West, when they see me wearing a thobe like this or galabiya, they might connect or make an association with a certain issue or a certain
Yes.
people. But this thobe or the dress has nothing to do with the truth of Islam.
Yes.
You know, we should share the beauty of Islam. We should go back to the source. We should go back to the essence of the message, rather than what they dress or about we think about their clothes. So let's go back to the second point, that is breaking the ice.
Yes.
Number 3, we should try our best to make a good impression
Okay.
about us, whether at a personal level or at Islamic level. We should be, as a Muslim, should be a good ambassador. I should represent Islam in the best possible way.
Excellent.
And as we see now, any mistake, any problem happens here or there, they would say Muslims. So we have to be careful. We Muslims should be careful.
Yes.
We represent Islam and Muslims.
Yes.
So each one of us as a Muslim, when he behaves, when he acts, when he deals with others, must think that he does not represent himself or herself alone. They represent others.
Yes.
So we have to take care of the impression, the first impression that we make, or we create concerning, or when we deal with others.
Yes. So, Doctor, you think it's the principles of Islam, how to how others perceive you? Is correct? You're saying to me that basically it's how we act as a person. The principles of Islam is to be pious, to be gentle,
Exactly.
to be smooth, not to go in bombarding this, just to be smooth, gentle, and at ease.
Wonderful. This, what you have just mentioned, what you have just mentioned, leads me to the 4th point, to speak nicely to mankind. The Quran says, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا, speaks nicely to mankind. So we are told in the Quran and in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, the traditions, the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, we are ordered to speak nicely. The Prophet ﷺ said, الكلمة الطيبة صدقة. Good word is a charity. Just imagine if say, thank you, may Allah bless you, may Allah shower His mercy upon you. You get a charity from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Inshallah.
So this is what Islam teaches us, to be nice in our language and in our behavior. This is number 4. Another bridge, another key that we can use to have dialogue or communication with others is to give gifts, to present gifts
Well, let's take a look at those pictures.
with others.
We have a picture here, and you're here, right here, Doctor, presenting gifts. Share with us your experience
Sure.
here.
This picture was taken in South Africa. I went to Durban. I visited some Islamic centers there in South Africa. And we went to some villages and we gave some small gifts.
Okay.
But there was a great impact, great feeling among those people that you have shared some gifts with.
Yes. I want to ask you, Doctor, what was in your heart? How did you actually feel when you were presenting those gifts? And as I can see here, we have many more pictures. Please tell me what was in your heart. How did this make you feel?
Before I speak about my heart and my feeling, I would like just to stress the point that even giving a gift is an Islamic, it is another Islamic thing.
Okay.
There is a saying, it says, tahadu, tahabbu, that when you give gifts to each other, you will love each other. So this is another bridge to win hearts. So my feeling was, I was so happy. I felt peace of mind. I felt tranquility when you go to those poor people and you share with them some small gifts.
So it was an inspiration to you. I mean, I can see here on this picture, you're with some small children here. Tell us about, you know, how they felt. Did they come up to you? Could they even speak Arabic, English?
Actually, they do not speak Arabic. They speak English. Those kids in South Africa, in Durban. Again, just imagine when I went there, small candies, like small sweet things, made a difference. It made a difference.
Of course.
I wished that I brought with me many boxes to share with those, you know, poor and needy.
The people in Africa. Well, let's take a look further. And as I can see here, you're in the UK. Share with us, you know, what all this is about. I mean, it's in Bournemouth, I believe.
Yes, sure. You are from UK, you know that.
I'm from the UK. You know, I can't get rid of my English accent. However, I try.
No problem. That's okay. I mean, this is your accent. No,
Inshallah, alhamdulillah.
Your language. But I went to the Islamic Center in Bournemouth. I was there sharing some ideas. We sent them some books too. I sent them some of my books as gifts. So
Excellent.
we share with them some literature or some books that they can share with students on campus there in Bournemouth.
What was it like in the UK for yourself? Because obviously you have your major in English. Did you feel it was easy for you to communicate? Did you have any dialogue problems? Did you feel at home?
This is maybe another bridge that we need to talk about, the language. The language is a great bridge, actually.
Yes.
If you like to make a good bridge between yourself and others, we should try our best to master their language.
Yes.
And this is another issue that we can discuss. When you go to the West, to UK or to the USA, they might judge you according to your accent.
Yes.
Say, look, he has a foreign accent. But I say, my dear friends, my dear viewers, let's go to the essence.
The core.
Let's go to the core, to the message. You might find a person with a foreign accent, but he might have a beautiful thing to share with you. So we have to be, you know, more open. We have to be, you know, more understanding in terms of the language, in terms of the accent. We should be more tolerant on that.
Well, thank you very much, Doctor. Well, that's all we have time for. Next week, we'll be actually discussing in further how to build bridges. Thank you very much, Doctor, for joining me in the studio today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, the viewers at home. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward us, and inshallah, Allah will accept this program. Again, I'd like to thank Dr. Naji Arfaj for joining us in the studio today. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank you all at home for viewing, and stay tuned next time for Building Bridges with Rafi Abdul Malik. Assalamu alaikum.